Noche UFC is just a few days away, and it might be a number one contender decider. We've got Diego Lopez coming off that loss to Alexander Volkanovski, and we have Jean Silva trying to save the name of the Fighting Nerds. Is he their last hope? What does this fight look like? Can Jean Silva beat Diego Lopez? Can Diego Lopez get his way back to the title? My name is Angelo. This is Josh Thompson, and welcome to Bad Takes. Josh, Noche UFC this weekend, or this year, is a little underwhelming, right? Years past, last year was Merab Sean O'Malley 2. Years past, it's been a pretty big card. This year, it's underwhelming. I have my own theory. We'll get to that in a minute. But that main event is a very, very good main event. And it literally could leapfrog Movsar Evloev and some of these other fighters who have probably genuinely earned their shot against Volkanovski.
Yeah.
What do you think this looks like? I mean, most people are just counting out Diego Lopez. Obviously, he's incredibly tough. He earned his way to the title the first time. He's got great jiu-jitsu. He's got great hands. But most people think Jean Silva is just going to beat the piss out of him.
Okay, but the betting odds don't have it that way. I saw that it was basically 2 to 1.
2.5 to 1 favorite.
Yeah, exactly. 2.5 to 1 favorite over this. So you said it's underwhelming. I actually think this card's not a bad card. David Martinez and Rob Font, that's going to be a good fight. I think David Martinez is going to take it because he's the younger, more spry. He's got more power.
Really?
Yeah, I think David Martinez is going to take it over Rob Font. He's got more power, and he's 27 years old. Rob Font's 38. So that's
I know, but we've seen all these old dudes with their old man experience.
Yeah,
just
he's
be able
not
to.
Justin Poirier. He's not Justin Gaethje. He doesn't have Rob Font doesn't have that power and that thing to make people respect him. Like,
and he literally only has boxing. He's not going to throw a kick. He's not going to shoot a takedown. It's just boxing.
He has great kicks. He just doesn't utilize it. So
Yeah.
I'm going with David Martinez on that. Hoffa Garcia's and Jared Gordon. I think Jared Gordon gets it done, but Hoffa's going to have to take him down over and over and over again. That's going to be a great fight. Those two guys fighting in a phone booth is going to be a fucking fantastic fight. Kelvin Gastelum, Stoltzfus. Kelvin Gastelum is just the Roberto Duran.
You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get, but it's at middleweight. So I'm excited. He'll have plenty of energy from eating all them damn tacos. Okay, and he'll be ready to go. So I love that fight as well. You get into Luna and Lee, a little bit of the unknown, 6-0, 9-2 versus each other. If I was a betting guy, I probably wouldn't bet on this fight. I don't know enough, not a big enough sample size.
The line really flipped too. Yeah, it was. Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns on this card. There's like 5 UFC debuts.
But you got prelim fights. Tatiana Suarez versus Amanda Lemos. Both of these females fought for a title like 1 or 2 fights ago. Yeah, it's insane that they're on the prelims, you know. And then you go all the way down. You've got a guy who just fought 3 weeks ago, Alexander Hernandez. He's fighting, or is he off this card now?
Diego, no, he's on there. He's fighting Diego.
He was up there against Diego Ferreira,
who was also supposed to fight at 319, but his fight got canceled. When I said underwhelming, I'm not saying it's a bad card by any stretch, because it is a good card. It'll be fun. But the last Noche was at the Sphere. The last Noche was and this was supposed to be that. So I guess, fuck it. Let's get into my theory. This was supposed to be a pay-per-view. There are no pay-per-views in September. This was supposed to be a massive pay-per-view in like Guadalajara or something like that. The UFC said, oh, the arena's not ready. And it literally is not ready. But my theory is, as soon as Dana White got the thumbs up for TKO Boxing to promote the Canelo Alvarez fight on the exact same day, the UFC was like, we're not competing with ourselves, and I need this TKO event to be the biggest boxing event in history so we can show the boxing world what a good promoter we are in boxing. So, and I think Noche took a hit because of that. It is a good card, though.
Is this your theory? Because this seems very accurate. You're not
my theory
from your betting odds to your takes to any of that stuff. You're never accurate. This is right on point. You're absolutely 100% correct.
I am genuinely one of the most level-headed, logical people in this space, and I'm right 90% of the time.
I have met your wife,
up.
and she tells me otherwise.
She's mean.
I have met her.
And so you have met her, and you know she's mean.
Only to you, by the way. She's not mean to me or my family, so that's all that matters. But this card to me is one of those sleeper cards. It's got a bunch of really good fighters on there that are really literally just clawing their way, trying to get into that top 5, top 10, whatever it is, positions. They're going to fight their asses off. Like I said, Alexander Hernandez looked phenomenal in his last fight against Chase Hooper. And then him fighting Diego Ferreira, that's going to be a fantastic fight. Diego's getting a little bit older. I think he's 39, maybe even 40, you know, but Alexander Hernandez getting a little bit, not older in the tooth. He's not old by any stretch of the means, but, you know, he's been around for a while. He's fought a lot of
He's the way younger fighter in that matchup.
Yeah, he is. But this is gonna be
See,
stylistically like
see what I mean? How
Diego can
level-headed
go
and how
Diego can
normal
go
I am?
everywhere. Diego can grapple, he can strike, he's got good decent boxing. He is getting older though. So, but this fight to me, there's a lot of good fights. You got Medina versus Dusko. You've got some good fights on here, man. Lemos and Suarez. I'm excited for that fight. I love watching Tatiana Suarez fight. She's phenomenal. So, all of that, I agree with you on the take, by the way. Great job. That's not a bad take for once. Um, but I absolutely, I think that's why they did it. As soon as he got the approval for the Canelo and Crawford fight, absolutely, you've got to go ahead and focus all your direction on there. Turkey Al Sheik is also, I'm sure, taking care of Dana very handsomely
Yeah.
and saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, you go ahead and help me promote this. We're gonna make this thing run. We're gonna make a lot of money." Your Noche card that you had over there, that little thing over there, go ahead. Let's dial
Yeah.
that back a little bit. I'll take the spotlight. So I agree with you 100% on that.
So if we look at the main event, which was the topic of this video, so thank you for staying on task as per usual. If we're looking at that main event, I'm just going to break it down my way here. I personally think 2-1 odds, right? I think that is insane value. I think Jean Silva beats the piss out of Diego Lopez. I like Diego Lopez. We've seen the power in his hands. We know that he's a dangerous grappler, but he doesn't have good enough wrestling to get the fights to the ground when he needs to. And he has power in his hands, but he doesn't have the clean technique. He starts here, he ends up here, and then he does the neck thing. And somebody like Jean Silva, who will figure that out and will dial it in and will make adjustments on the fly, is going to beat the piss out of him. And Diego's tough, and this isn't a slight on Diego. It's more of a praise on how good Jean's striking is. And I just don't think Diego's not dangerous enough as a wrestler to threaten anything. So what are you going to do? You're getting beat up on the feet, and then what? How are you going to get this fight to the ground? You really can't.
Well, I mean, I can see Diego possibly, like, because Jean Silva's the shorter fighter. Because if you ever seen Diego Lopez at weigh-ins, he is
He's
massive
huge.
for 145 pounds. Massive. So when I'm looking at the two of them face to face, I'm thinking to myself, the way he gets this fight to the ground is trying to shove Jean Silva's head down into a guillotine position and then dragging him down into that guillotine. That's where I feel like he can maybe possibly have success. The takedown is going to be very difficult for him. He might be able to get one or two, but can he hold him down? I don't know. Can he
Bryce
get to the
Mitchell
back?
couldn't, and yeah, Bryce Mitchell's in Arkansas wrestling, not exactly the pinnacle of American wrestling success, but that's what he does, and he does well, and he's taking out everybody. He couldn't hold down Jean Silva.
So he can't hold him down. But Diego's got a little bit more controlling back take, and like his jiu-jitsu, I think, is a little bit step up above Bryce Mitchell's. He's also physically a lot bigger than Bryce
He's a
Mitchell,
lot
and
bigger,
the same
yeah.
thing with Jean. So I think he's physically a lot bigger, like height wise, broad shoulders wise. In terms of like thickness, obviously they're the same weight when they make the weight. But Diego Lopez, when he fought Brian Ortega, had a great first round. But as the fight went on, he started to slow down a little bit. Now, we've also seen him go, 5. He's had great fights. I'm not knocking him in any way. Jean Silva's out there having fun and relaxing. Outside of Diego Lopez getting him with a guillotine or arming guillotine or something along those lines in a front choke, I just don't see how he beats him. I don't see how Diego Lopez beats Jean Silva. Jean Silva's more fluid on the feet, relaxed. Punches and kicks are going to come from different angles. Like you said, at 2.5-1, I'm taking that all day long. Like I saw the betting odds yesterday. Even Big John McCarthy was like, "Man, yeah, I think Jean Silva's the favorite. He's probably favored by like almost 2-1." And I was like, "Actually, we looked it up. It's reverse. He's like a plus 240."
You said it backwards, but yeah, I get your
Okay,
point.
you don't understand what I'm saying. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
you understand what I'm saying.
Again, the level-headed one.
Right. But Jean Silva to me poses all the threats. He's gonna be harder to shoot on because he's shorter. He's got the short, thicker legs, harder to lift and scoop. Okay. He's also gonna be a lot more difficult to trap against the fence. And his style of stand-up, his kickboxing, the kicks up the middle, the little funky up jabs, the jumping knees, all of those things are gonna make Diego Lopez hesitant to grapple. Now, outside of like him doing something that causes him to get taken down. He does the jumping knee and then he gets caught in the air and gets taken down that way. Then I can see Diego Lopez controlling that round and moving on. But a 5-round fight, the relaxation in rounds 4 and 5 as Diego tends to slow down, will he end up getting caught in those positions, with the striking from Jean Silva? It's so fluid. He's so relaxed. When you have a relaxed fighter, their cardio is a lot better in the later rounds because they're not expending
Yeah, he's
energy in
not
areas
like,
of the
just
he's not
tense trying to, yeah.
And Diego is one of those guys that he looks like he's tense a lot. You just see the way he holds his hand. He's like, there's, and then the neck thing. But then, it's a little bit of everything. But I look at this fight. I'm excited for the fight, but I would go with you. I would take Jean Silva.
There's a couple things to advocate for Diego. Obviously, he's got power in his. He's very skilled. He's also like the head coach of a lot of these great Mexican fighters. Lupe Godinez, a bunch of people coming in. Alexa Grasso, like he's their coach, and he's 20-something years old. He is their straight up head coach. Good for him. We'll talk about that in a minute. But if I'm looking at this, there's two things about Jean that worry me a little bit. One, sometimes he does get a little too crazy, spinning around for no reason, doing some dumb shit like that. He might spin around, get his back taken, and drag to the ground. That entire round is gone, or potentially even worse position. So he might get a little too loose and creative. The other thing is the narrative going into the Volkanovski fight was Diego Lopez has no energy. You just said it. He slowed down against Brian Ortega. And he actually looked pretty good in the Volk fight as far as he didn't slow down. Now, he didn't slow down because he didn't do much, right? He wasn't like going balls to the wall, but he had 5 rounds of cardio, at least at that pace. Jean Silva is only finishing people. He's been to 3 decisions in his entire career, and he's lost 2 of them. I actually think the narrative could be flipped, that if Jean Silva is battering and bruising and beating the hell out of a very durable Diego Lopez, rounds 3, 4, 5, Jean Silva might be the one who is completely exhausted, especially if he has a big dude leaning against him on the cage. And I think that could be the only real problem here is if Silva, I think he's going to style on Diego. I think the first 2 rounds are going to be like, wow, there are levels to striking in this game. But if he doesn't get Diego out of there and Diego just stays tough and he's durable, and Diego's been finished before, but if he stays tough and he's durable and he keeps moving, I think the tide could turn and things could get real weird and stressful late.
That is a possibility, but I also take a look at some of the guys like Pratis and Kai Bahalo. Like they don't tend to get tired.
Yeah, they don't gas.
They didn't gas. And this guy seems to be right up there with the top of them. Ruffy didn't look great his last fight, Mauricio Ruffy. But in this situation, Jean Silva seems to be so relaxed out there and having fun. These nerds are literally nerds inside the gym, just out there having a blast. This is just another fight to them. And sure, it's a stepping stone to possibly getting him a title shot, either one of them again. But it puts him in a position where he's so relaxed, it's going to be very difficult to get him out of his game. You're going to have to rock him. You're going to have to make him respect you early in the fight. Otherwise, he's just going to start to, I feel like, just kind of take over. He'll just start touching you and taking over the fight. And as you're panicking a little bit, trying to find ways to get him down, trying to find ways to press him to the fence, you're using more energy. And then you're like, shit, I can't get in. He's moving all around me. He's hitting me. He's cutting angles. Like the things that he did to Bryce Mitchell was embarrassing. And I want to remind people, do you recall when he went up to 155 on short notice and fought Drew Dober?
Yeah, Drew Dober knocked him out on like a week.
Yeah. Drew Dober's a better boxer, I feel like, or close to Diego Lopez. I think they're similar. Okay.
Technique-wise better, yeah.
Diego's got probably a little bit more power than Drew Dober, but Drew Dober's got better wrestling. And how did that work?
He had a granite chin.
Yeah, and Drew Dober couldn't get him down. Bryce Mitchell couldn't get him down. Both those guys' wrestling is better than Diego Lopez. Now, submission-wise, I would say Diego Lopez is better grappler than both those guys. Him and Bryce are probably similar, but I would probably go with Diego. He's the better all-around good jiu-jitsu guy. I don't see, outside of catching him with an arm-in guillotine or a guillotine or something along those lines against the fence or dragging him down in a guillotine, I don't know how he gets the fight to the ground. And catching him, like when he throws a flying knee, let me catch you in the midair and take you down that way, and that's it. I love the odds that you were just talking about, almost 2.5 to 1. I got to take those odds, and I think all the things that we've seen from Kai Bahalo, Pratis out there smoking cigarettes, still has enough cardio to finish a 5-round fight. Jean Silva's going to be fine in a 5-round fight, unless he gets rocked early in the fight. If he gets rocked early in the fight, that starts to change the way you fight. You feel like you're fighting from behind. You start wasting energy on things you shouldn't be wasting energy on. Like, I can see that possibly happening because Diego's got power, especially early in the fight. But I'm still leaning towards Jean Silva.
Yeah, and there is definitely power on the Diego side. It's not, if Diego Lopez knocks out Jean Silva, that's not like the craziest thing to ever happen. He does have big power. I would say what I do love about Jean Silva is if we look at Mauricio Ruffy, he was frozen by the idea of I might get taken down. Completely frozen. He didn't do shit. I think he landed like 6 strikes in that whole fight. Like he was frozen by that. Where Jean doesn't care. He's like, you're going to shoot your takedowns. If you get me down, I trust my scrambles. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And that's what we saw in the Bryce Mitchell fight. There were no secrets whatsoever what Bryce was trying to do. And Jean did not care. He let his hands go. He threw his knees. He fought. He was taken down. He scrambled. He got back up, continued to let his hands go. He wasn't frozen by the idea of takedowns coming his way, which that in and of itself is huge, because how many times we talk about, even if you don't really want to get a takedown, at least threaten it. At least threaten it to get that fighter out of their rhythm. Where Jean doesn't care what you do. He's worried about himself and what he's going to do, and he trusts his skills. And I think that's the difference between him and like what happened with Mauricio Ruffy. Just Mauricio Ruffy doesn't suck, right? The narrative that he sucks and this, he doesn't suck. He panicked when takedowns started coming his way. He was so frozen by the idea of the takedowns, he didn't do what he was supposed to do. We saw that with Alex Pereira versus Ankalaev. Alex Pereira defended every single takedown. Good on you. You did nothing with your hands. Did nothing with your hands because you were so focused on the takedowns.
Man, you're Alex Pereira, huh?
I love Alex. But in that fight, he did nothing.
I love Chimaev too.
Yeah, I bet you. No, I genuinely love Alex. Connecticut boy. Us Connecticut boys stick together. Although I moved to Texas before he moved to Connecticut. But Alex, in that fight was all the prep, everything was about the takedown defense. And it worked, and you saw the results, and it held up. But he didn't push forward. He didn't let his hands go. In Mauricio Ruffy versus Benoit Saint-Denis, all the prep was likely takedown defense. Didn't matter. But in the fight itself, didn't let his hands go. Jean Silva lets his hands go. He doesn't care. He gets after it. And I think that's the mindset you have to have is trust your takedown defense, trust your scramble skills. You're the better striker. Be the better striker.
All right, let's get to the fruit of the matter kind of thing, right? Like it really comes down
these are not sayings, Josh.
I just make them up as I go. Yeah.
These are not things that people say.
What do you say?
Fact of the matter.
Let's get to the fact of the matter. Fact of the matter? That doesn't sound that sounds retarded.
It's not fruit of the matter, I'll tell you that.
Retarded. I have young kids. I've got to say stuff that makes sense to them. Okay.
I don't think it makes sense.
Our daughters are the same age, you guys. Literally like in the same class. I come down. This is what I'm coming at is Jean Silva. Is there more pressure on Jean Silva to win this fight because there's so much at stake? He needs to not just win to potentially get a title shot, but he also needs to win to save the egos and all the other stuff that go along with being a fighting nerd, because his team just looked really bad last weekend. Even though the weekend before, 2 weekends before that, Pratis looked fantastic. But guess what? You feel like he has to slide in and kind of be the savior?
I think if he loses, that gym's going to get dragged. And whether right, wrong, indifferent, whether it's valid or not, if Jean Silva loses, fighting nerds are a sham. These guys suck. It was always all hype. None of them are any good. I mean, that is going to be the narrative. Jean Silva losing, everybody in that gym will feel it. Everybody, because of just the brand they built with the gym. If he wins, it definitely gives the gym some credibility, because it didn't take long after, Pratis got dragged. There was all sorts of memes of the fighting nerds, but him cut out of the picture. It started with Brunner Brazil. They had the core 5. They cropped her out. Then it was core 4. Then Pratis, they cut him out. And then it was core 3. And then now these two lost. It's all down to Jean. If Jean wins, I think people are like, okay, it is what it is, right? Because Pratis, when he beat Jeff Neal, people stopped saying that Pratis sucks and the fighting nerds are overrated. Yeah. And then now that narrative is back again when Kyle lost. And it's mostly how bad Ruffy lost. I don't see a lot of people shitting on Kyle. He fought his ass off. Nasruddinov is very, very good. Like it was he fought as hard as he could. Yeah. Where Ruffy got run through. That loss destroyed the brand name for a little bit. So Jean can make up for it by running through Diego Lopez for sure.
The great thing is that Jean Silva can make up for it 1 week later.
Yeah, literally.
Within like another month, they're just getting destroyed for like a month straight. Every time there's a fight. Yeah, but you see Ruffy got fucking destroyed, right? Yeah. Jean Silva's going to come in. If he takes care of business and he makes it, if he does it impressively, everyone's just going to like be bowing down. Just, just straight bowing down to this. I think Jean Silva has all the tools, all the weapons, the confidence, the swag. That's what I love about him. Like, I know the guys come in with the nerd glasses and the shirts and, the fighting nerd shirts and all this, but he walks with that swagger that it's insane. You see him when he gets in there. He's out there loving it, having fun.
Oh yeah.
In the Ruffy fight, he led that little bit of a deer in headlights look right when they were ready to announce his name and when he was getting ready to fight. Like, okay, he doesn't look comfortable right now.
He's the least. Ruffy's interesting because in his UFC debut, he attempted a scissor leg takedown, which is like the wildest shit. He attempted that in his UFC debut. It's like, Jesus, this guy's crazy. And then the nerds all talked about how he is the most talented one. But he seems to be, he doesn't have that same aura about him because Prates got a cigarette deal.
Nice.
He has a deal with a cigarette company. He's got his own, he has his own identity, his own swagger. Kyle Barallo is the leader of the team. He dresses like a fucking idiot, but he's the leader of that team, so he has his own identity, his own. Jean Silva's got the barking, and he has his own identity. Mauricio Ruffy's the only one without his own identity. So I do think if you look at each individual person, Jean Silva's definitely probably the most confident of them. Prates is pretty freaking confident, but when I was at UFC 317, we went to the weigh-ins and the nerds showed up and Jean Silva was there jumping into the crowd, Instagram Live barking like, arr, arr, arr. And he had hundreds of people in groups doing that. And he went around and he is like feeling this and enjoying it and loving it and like taking that energy with him. And the last thing I'll mention on this is I just saw a clip. I forget where I saw it, but it was him, the fighters sit down, they do the autograph signings and, it's like 100 posters.
It's a lot more than 100 now. It's like almost 1,000. It was 100. It was 120 years ago. It's more like 1,000 now.
So he walked in the room to do that and he looked at the poster and just started crying. And he's like, oh my God, look where I am. This is crazy to see himself as the main event. So he has, his perspective seems amazing. He's got the fight. Like I like Diego Lopez a lot. This is just a really bad matchup.
Okay. I mean, but do you consider him to be the savior? If he wins this saves the fighting nerds at least until the next time they fight, or if he doesn't win, is it going to be like, oh, it's always been a sham? I mean, you're going to get that regardless. Even if he doesn't look great, they're like, oh, they're not as good as we thought they were.
If he doesn't win, it does way more damage to that entire gym and their entire brand than the good it does if he does win.
Yeah.
If he does win, it's like he was supposed to, and a lot of the narrative of the fighting nerds suck will go away.
No, but if he's not supposed to, he's a fucking underdog. What do you mean he's like? That's the thing. People will say he was supposed to, but
Jean Silva's a 2-1 favorite. What are we talking about here?
Oh no! Oh no! I was literally looking at a website yesterday where he was the underdog at a plus 238. No, at a plus 238. Seriously,
there's not a world where this is some old man shit. There is not a world where Jean Silva's an underdog. Not one world.
I swear to you, I looked up on my old.
I have no doubt that you think you saw that, but I'm sure you saw a prop bet, a round line. I am looking at a website. Here we go. I am looking at a website that has odds from multiple books: 2-1 on Bet Online, 2-1 Bovada, 2-1 Bet US, 2-1 Jazz, 2-1
Bet US. I looked up Bet US yesterday, and and Jean Silva was a plus 238.
Dude, this is bad for you. This is bad for you.
Really?
You have never been more wrong ever.
Okay. I'm leaning towards Jean Silva, so that doesn't bother me at all.
If you thought he was a 2-1 underdog this whole time, you should have mortgaged your house and bet on it.
I don't bet on. I'm not.
Dude, he is a 2-1 favorite, and he has been this entire time on every book. You definitely saw a prop or something, or you just saw Diego Lopez's name.
Well, podcast Dave pulled it up, and he had it on the show last night. So, and I thought he showed.
I'm gonna go check the tape. I'm gonna check the tape.
Go check it out. Yeah, because Juan and I were both talking about it.
We'll check the tape. I'll have the editor splice it in. We'll
check the tape.
All right. All right, Drew, there's going to be some awkward silence here. You're just going to have to work with that. You're going to go to
He's gonna
YouTube.
go. Oh, check the tape. Check the tape. All right. So you're saying, so what is he then now on that
But
platform?
wait, hold on. About how far into this video did that come up?
Well, you should be able to scan. It goes right into the main event. So we talked about Crawford and them first. So it was probably like 30 minutes in.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, there's my website.
Yeah, of course, because we Oh, by the way,
Here's
you use our promo code and still if you guys want to go ahead.
Go for it.
I thought it was great. Use your promo code and still go to wewantpicks.com/offer. Okay. They'll give you guys 10% off your first initial. You got what is it? 10. It's basically $1 off on your $10.
10%. Yeah. If you do an
10%.
annual, it's $100.
It's
so
$100.
It's saved.
It's $10.
You're down
off.
to 90. Yeah.
You're down to 90. And then you can actually buy a lifetime, which I try to discourage. But Angelo, I'm sure he likes that. It's a lifetime for $300. You can't beat that deal.
Annual is the best possible value because $10 a month, $120 a year. Annual, you get 2 months for free. It's still dirt cheap. Lifetime is an unbelievable value, but maybe in a year or 2 years, you need to be there 3 years for it to be worth it. And maybe you don't want to do that for 3 years. But I can't find. I see where you guys pulled up SureDog, but there's no odds on SureDog.
Oh no. He pulled up something on there that showed the bet. I think it was BetUS.
I'm looking. I see Liam Neeson for some reason.
Oh, because John was on Naked Gun 2.5 or whatever that is. Big John was in there in that movie.
I gotta watch the new Naked Gun. I bet it's good.
Big John's in it. Bisbing's in it. John Anik. Who else is on that? Did you know that Liam Neeson is dating Pamela Anderson? They're getting married.
I think I saw dude, the old man shit coming out of your mouth. I saw something that was just a publicity stunt for the promoting the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, because John's the one that told me that he's like smitten over her.
An even older man. The old man, like crazy, dude. Right. It's crazy that I'm the young. That's crazy. What a world. I can't find.
Oh, you can't find it. No.
This is the. No, I can't find it.
All right, you wasted enough time trying to prove me wrong, which you've never been able to do. But let's go ahead and talk about this.
He's gonna clean this shit up.
He's Jean Silva, the savior. Yes or no?
I think Jean Silva. Yes. If we're just doing black and white, yes, I would say he's the savior, and by dominating this fight, which he should do, a lot of the criticisms of the gym will go away. He'll protect them from further ridicule.
How does he get it done this weekend? Let's go ahead and wrap this. Put a bow on this. Okay. How does he get it done this weekend? If he wins, does he win it by decision? Does he win by knockout? What TKO? How does he win this fight? Does he win by submission? Is there a chance in a world where he wins by submission? And then how does Diego Lopez get it done?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible for him to win by submission. We just saw that with Bryce Mitchell. I think I'm leaning it's a decision, but I think he can. I mean, if I have to pick one, I'll say decision. But Diego Lopez has been knocked out twice.
With Bryce Mitchell, where did you get Bryce Mitchell into this conversation?
Because you said, can Jean Silva win by submission? And he just submitted Bryce Mitchell. So I was like, it's definitely possible for him to do that.
Gotcha. Okay. I was like,
it's hard to keep up. Dude,
I want to know, like, we're talking about one fight and you're bouncing around.
I knew Diego that Lopez I was.
And Jean Silva, this is the fight we're talking about.
I know that I'm just much faster on my feet. My brain can operate on multiple levels. Like I knew all of that, but like I didn't know it. Like now I know it. Like this is crazy.
Oh, guys, I have audio of his wife talking about the things that Angelo. I've got it all. So how does Diego get it done?
If Diego wins. I think it's a decision either way. If Diego wins, I think it's a scenario I mentioned earlier where he's getting tuned up early. Jean slows down and Diego just wears on him and wears on him and wears on him. And while he's a Brazilian, he's the Mexican in this matchup. So there could be some Homer type calls here, even though they're in Texas. But I think it's a decision in either direction.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm going to lean a little bit more towards if Jean Silva wins, he either wins by decision or he wins.
Well, you got to pick one.
Oh, really?
I had to pick one. I had to pick one. You got to pick one.
So I'm going to pick John Silva to win by decision. I'm going to pick Diego to win by submission.
Okay. And you think it's because he comes in, blast double, or drags him to the ground, gets it done quick, or John slows down and he just finds something weird late?
The submission thing is, it can happen early when they're dry, and it can happen late when they're wet, especially in that guillotine, that arming guillotine. Like, it's easy to slip it on. It's also easy to pop your head out, but it's easy to slip it on and get it in tight. And I think at the level that Diego Lopez is on the ground, if Jean Silva makes one mistake and leaves his neck in the wrong spot, I think Diego takes it home. So I'm looking at Diego by submission, and I'm looking at Jean Silva by decision.
Either way, it should be a really fun fight. Guys, that was another bad takes. Don't be shy letting Josh know how insanely wrong he was with the odds on that fight. He needs to learn from his mistakes. I get a lot of shit for being fat. Let's give Josh some shit for being old and not understanding how the world works. Like, subscribe, do all the things. This has only been a couple of, weeks we've been doing this. We appreciate every last one of you. Let us know who you think that wins that main event below.